I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn ain't that great. I don't wanna.
Hello everybody and welcome back into our channel again. My name is The Wolf. Thank you so much for that to each and every single one of you for your beautiful support here on our channel. So I know it's been like a few weeks since the first episode of Transport Fever 2 here on the channel. So what we've actually done is we've actually ran the game through from 1856 all the way through to 1860, just to try and recoup some of the money for what we're actually needing to do. And during that period as well, I've actually added on like one extra train onto this main route here. Of course, we can only use trains unless it's like from like a city like Featherstone here, where we can actually use only road transportation for this year, just to make sure that everything all goes into the right areas. So this is literally a train only season. Now that I've actually run this through as much as possible, we can now try and get this connected to over to here and bring this ideally up to Featherstone, which is up here. Now I know that they are needing food, so I'm just wondering, would it be best to possibly do a main depot type area somewhere around here, so we can bring everything in and bring it up? And so I'm not too sure on that, but we do want to try and get this bit of a track here done, get a train on it as soon as possible, so we can actually start making some money on this route here, with then trying to go from Blackburn or to Featherstone with a PATS transportation, which is passenger, so we can then get rid of this road area here. So we've got like a few little things to try and get kind of like get sorted out as best as possible. But of course we're going to be using this one train depot at this moment of time, just for mostly down here with the resources. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. So before we actually crack on, if you're not already done so, please do subscribe down below, turn on the notification bell, so then you can then be notified when we upload a brand new video. Also as well, please do leave a comment down below and like to see what you want, just really to let us know what else that we could be doing. So if you're wanting to deal with like food, wood, or something else, so this is going to be like a long type season on this, but we do need to make sure that we're actually making enough money to keep the company actually open. So I might be quite bummed up today, because I've actually got a really bad voice today, which is kind of a bit of an annoyance, to say the least, but that's okay. So we've actually had to come into here first of all, so we can actually start getting in our second track in. So what this second track base is here is just for the resources to actually go out. So we do need to get a cargo platform. So this is going to be one of our more expensive type situations, this is on this, but that's okay. Now we do also need to try and incorporate, if we can, our train, which we can do if we delete that bit off there and delete that section off there, come into here, bring this in, and we can then slowly bring this round. So it doesn't matter what speed this one is at, because at the end of the day we do need to make sure we've got actually this tracking at this moment of time. So this is where it's going to get really quite expensive, especially with our tracks. Now you might be screaming at the screen or your mobile, and it's actually like, what are you doing, what are you doing? That there is just to make sure that we can actually get the train for this side here in as quickly as possible. Then what we're going to then do is we're going to just grab this here. Like, it doesn't really matter about like certain things and stuff like that, because we can easily just take these off here. I don't know, is that right? There we go. We'll just do that there for now, and let's do that there because we don't really want to be paying for ownership on this because it is quite annoying, and to say the least. And then what we can then do is bring this down to here, okay, just like this, and we can then try and maybe nip this over. Might need to just bring it out just a tad bit more like this. Do this here. So this is then for the collection area to then go up to there. What we can then do then is we're then going to come into our buildings. We're then going to go into a cargo station, okay, straight away, and we're going to then bring this round, get this placed into there, and then we can then bring a track straight round, which is perfectly fine on that. Yep, it should be okay on that. And then what we can then do now is bring this in to here, bring this all the way around onto here as best as possible. But we do need to make as much money as we physically can on this, because at the end of the day it is one of those things where we do need to make money on this as best as possible. Now what we can do is here we could potentially prep this up here if we're needing to. But we should be able just to use this line here to come round and go up to there, and maybe just do like a quick little section over just to make sure that we've actually got the train situation sorted. So what we're going to do is here we're actually going to go new line. We're going to go from here, from Baxton, then over to here, which is the Blackburn transfer. Next we're going to go, so this is Boston even, so Boston to Blackburn, and this is transfer. This is the fuel, so this is CO2 to fuel, and this is train. Okay, just to make sure that is kind of like set up there as best as possible. And next what we're going to do is we're going to then come into here, we're going to come into our signals, and straight away we're going to go one like that there, bring this down just a tad there, bring that to there, so we can actually at least get our signals in place ready to go. So I like to make sure that we've got everything all set up as best as possible so we can actually get the maximum trains in, because that is what our biggest issue is making sure that we've got enough trains on a route for this to actually work. So what we're going to just do is here very quickly, we're going to just make sure that this is actually all set up correctly. So we've got a way in, way out, perfect. So what we can now do is we can now pop into here very quickly, and we're then going to come straight into here. We're going to buy some new vehicles, keeping in mind in in like not too long actually into this year, we're actually going to be getting some new trains. So we do need to make sure we've actually got that covered as best as possible. So what we're actually going to do is here first, we're going to buy 2 of them. We're going to put 1 straight onto the new line. Okay, and let's get that started off there straight away. So when that's actually on its way, okay, we should now have this here being made up as quickly as possible. We won't release the other one until we've actually got enough there for the next one, and that's what we're needing to try and get this working out as best as possible. This is why I'm not too bothered about the speed on this here, because we're needing to make sure that this comes in and actually picks up everything here now. And this is where we're needing to make sure we've actually got enough crude oil coming in to pick this up. Now we might only need to have 1 train on this literally at this moment of time, and that's perfectly fine. We can easily deal with that, but we're needing to make sure we've actually got enough there to at least get enough a full section up. Now we're actually like 9 short on this, so we may need to actually increase the crude oil coming in and from here, and that's what we can actually do right now. So we can actually come into here, set this here, put this onto the Blackburn route, just to maximize on that there. Okay, and that is then perfectly fine there now. So we've actually got that light coming backwards and forwards, but we're just needing to see how much the actual 41 is actually going to make for us, because we're needing to make sure we are maximizing on our profits for this. Now I'll be happy if we can actually get around about 400-500. So we've got 340 there, so we should be pushing up to around about 400,000 for that. But yet again, we needed to really make sure that this is all man-packed as much as possible. So this means that we do need to potentially start increasing this up here with the trains on the line, because we need to try and make sure we've got enough coming in for that. Now how we do that is that we need to have a look at this here. So if we can actually get this down to around about 50-60 seconds on the frequency, we should be fine, because each one of these here would take about 8 minutes, which is okay considering, but we do need to make sure we've actually got enough with that. So at least I want in around about 30-40 on the platform here, each and every single time, and that's before they actually take it off. So when we start looking at trying to get everything compromised, and for us to do that, then we do need to increase the amount of the trains on that one route. So we can easily do that by popping into our route section here. Okay, we can come down to here, and we can then actually just copy, maybe get like another couple, 3 more trains onto there. So we've actually then got like 10 vehicles on there. 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, so 10 vehicles on there to do that, and that should then carry on producing enough for what we need. Oh, and we've got an achievement as well to have 10 trains on a line. So that's only what we're kind of like needing. This here should be perfectly fine now, just for 1 train to keep that running, and we can easily place another train if then needed. Now, when we start looking at our actual expenditure, we have actually got a lot of expenditure actually going out because of building the necessary tracks and etc. And getting in all the extra trains. So that's what we're needing to try and kind of like figure out, is like, actually, is that really any need for all that? So that's what we're needing to work out. So at this moment of time, we've actually got income of 415,000 and we've got expenditure of 185,000. So we are making decent money there. So we may need to potentially might have to now add on like a secondary train onto here and to get that brought up there. But it all depends how much we actually producing every single run through. So when we get this here, so we're down to 57 there. So if we just keep an eye on that to then make sure that we're not going to be bringing in too much of the resources where we can't manage, and that is then when it's going to be quite a very good signal to us then to maybe increase the trains on that one route. So like up to a possibility of having one extra train on there, or possibly 2 extra trains on there. It really all depends. So what I'm looking at here, if we can get that amount up to around about 90 before this train actually comes in, then we may be hopefully we may be able to actually tell them and say, actually yes, we can do that. So actually I will probably just chuck in like a extra train on that one there, and potentially. But what we do need to do now that we've actually got some new trains, okay, we're going to come into here. Let's come into our Steam. So we've actually now got this one here, what we've been using, and we've got this one here, which actually goes up to 28 miles an hour. So what we can do is we can do that there, select this one here, do that there, and do that there. Spend the initial amount of money on that. Okay, and then we can do them 3 here. So 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. And we're just trying to, at this moment of time, is to make sure we've actually got all the new little bits on this here, you see, because we're really wanting to make sure that we've got everything sorted, especially with the speed side of things. And that's what we're actually really wanting to do at this moment of time, is actually increase the speed availability on these, and which will then give us enough opportunity then to go ahead and actually then say, well, actually, can we increase the capacity? Can we increase the amount of stuff what we're actually transferring, right? And that's what we're needing to try and kind of like look at. So at this moment of time, let's just have a look here, because I think actually we're getting like near enough 850,000 we are now. So that there was actually like 700 and odd. So straight away we're actually getting it in quicker, which is actually making us more money. So what we are going to now do is here, we are going to bring into here of a signal. Okay, and we're then just going to place that there, because we're needing to make sure that we've got that done. We're then going to come into here, and we're then going to copy this one here straight away. So that there is going to cost quite a bit anyway to get that done, but I think it's now time to really start getting that second training. We could actually go up to 4 trains maybe on this route, but really you're dependent on, is it really worth it? Well, technically yes, it is worth it on this. So it's always that balance between, is it worth it putting more on, and then is it worth it making sure that we've got everything what we then need in on this. And so this is what we're needing to try and kind of like figure out on this. So what I am actually going to do here is we're going to go into here, and we're going to buy possibly like another 2 just to make sure, because we've then got that capacity base there. But then what we're then needing to look at is, with us having 4 there for this, is it then needed to then expand this here? So we've got this down now to 122 seconds. So this here needs to be kind of like double to this here. So we're needing to get this built up more. So what we are going to do is, because it is us, and we can kind of do it, and that if we're wanting to, is to really make sure that we've got that they're sorted as best as possible. So let's just keep this running through as best as at this moment of time, because I know that, so that is then like 4:45, so that's actually gone up just a little bit more, which is perfectly fine. So we have actually got here, I think we may initially have too many trains on this route here. So what we can do is we can say, actually, can you go back into the depot? Okay, so let's get that sent back over to the depot as quickly as possible, actually, because we don't really need that train at this moment of time, especially not on this route here, because we're not really making enough at this moment of time. But we do need to actually start expanding this section up here to increase the training port on this here. So when we do that, we can actually move potentially this one train here, and when it's gone back into the depot, we can actually put that onto the other line straight away. So then we can then start increasing everything what we're needing to do with that. So what we're now going to do is we're going to put you straight onto the Blackburn line. So the Blackburn line is from here to down here, and that's what we kind of like needing to do with that. So we are slowly building this round. Now I do need to make sure that I've got enough resources actually coming in. I think actually we might need to just potentially pause this off here. Send you back to the depot for a moment. Okay, so that should now just go straight through. This here will now have the 2-1 here. We can keep that one in the depot for now, just to make sure that we've got all this here built back up again. And so how are we now going to bring this up to here? So how we're going to do that is, first of all, we're actually going to build our PATS station. So this is going to be our passenger station area, but we're wanting to bring this round, miss Blackburn out, bring it straight up, and bring this into here, and that into Featherstone, and then bring the Blackburn into Featherstone area. But we're needing this to come round and come straight into here, because Featherstone is actually going to be our big major station. So we could actually potentially do it here initially, so we can actually bring it from here up to here, And that's what we could now actually do, is just to make sure we've got that link sorted. So what we're going to do is here, very quickly, we're actually going to now start taking these off here, because we don't need these roads connected up, because we're not doing nothing by road, unless it's actually within the center area. So we can now go and build a straight line through up to here and from Blackburn. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come into our passenger station area. We're going to bring this round, okay, and this here is now going to allow us to have the connection what we are then needing. So we're actually going to put that there like that, and we're actually going to have only one with that. Then up here we're then going to have our through station. So our through station allows us to potentially actually have this at a point where it's actually so much more better actually for this, because we're actually then going to have our a drop-off depot area. So we've now got our passenger line kind of sorted with this, so we can now come into here, pop into our tracks, and then what we do is, because I'm wanting to make sure that this is done as best as possible, is to bring this up all the way up to here. Okay, now ideally I don't want the fields to go on that, because that's just that's not really acceptable to say the least. So we're actually going to bring this round like this here, and then we can then come down here to then connect this up like that there. Okay, so just like that, and that is now our passenger train sorted. So what we are going to do now is now we're going to come up to here. We're then going to get our secondary line placed in, and we're already making quite a few million anyway each time on this, so we shouldn't really have a major problem with this. Hopefully not to have no problems with this. And then what we can then do is now we can put that into there like that. So that is going to be our first PATS line. So we can now, when we got a train into here, okay, which we can easily do from here, because this can come straight over and whip over to here, if we wanted it to go that way, or we can actually bring it up around this way. But what we are going to try and do here, because we wanted them to come ideally up onto this one up here, ideally. So we're actually going to now just build a basic line there. We're going to come into our buildings, we're going to come and get a depot section. Okay, this is our train depot, and we're then going to come into a new line. We're going to go from here down to here, and this is then our Featherstone to Blackburn Alt. This is the PAX, and this is then for the trains. The only reason why that we stay in trains is, like I said, we are going to have some road vehicles into here as well. So we're needing to make sure that we've kind of got that covered out as best as possible. So what we're then going to do now is, okay, we could potentially get trams and prepare for that if we wanted to, but I think initially that we may not want to do that just yet, because there's really no point with that. Oh, right, there we go. I pressed the wrong button. So we are then going to then bring in a road depot like that there, and then we're going to then have a bus tram station. Okay, and this is then going to come into here, and then we're going to have then our sections around here like this. Okay, and the only reason why that we're doing this is to really make sure that we have got the best possible coverage for the entire growth of the overall city growth, and that's what we kind of like needing to try and do with this. So we need to make sure that we've got every single possible area covered to where they could actually potentially grow from. So this area should be fine there. Next, what we're going to then do is we're then going to pop into our little section here. So we're going to go from there to there, 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 to there, to there, one there, one there, one there. So I know this might be quite a lot of buses which we're actually placing onto here, or coach, and that if you're in like a different country, but I personally believe having enough stops like that should be able to cover a lot of the area. So we're actually needing mill lane 13, mill lane 13, and we're then needing to go one, oh, one, and then two there, just to bring that into there. Okay, and now what we're then going to do now, okay, we're actually then going to come in and we're then going to go into passenger. We're then going to then select, let's start off with 4 of these here straight away. We're going to select this here straight into line 1. Okay, we're then also then needing to get this here done. So this is then the Blackburn intercity Pats, and this is then road. Okay, just to really make things so much more easier to actually understand. Okay, so we've already got people going into this here now, like you see. So we are actually getting a few people coming in. So next what we're going to do is here, so this will only cover like a small area here, but we needing to, so what we can do is very quickly, let's come into here, let's build a train very quickly. We're needing a passenger train, so this can hold 8, and we're actually going to put this, we're only going to put this up to 40 capacity initially, and just to make sure that we've got that kind of sorted. We're needing Pats there, okay, and that will then go out and then deal with that there like so. So what we're then going to do very quickly is, before we actually forget about this, we're actually needing to chuck in some signals in. Because we're wanting to make sure that everything what we do is actually of the best possible standard. So let's just whip these in. Now this might be quite too many signals for this, and personally I'm not too concerned with that, to say the least, because I'm generally not too concerned about the actual cost of everything. But this here allows for us to now have it on two separate lines. Okay, and we've already got passengers already waiting to there, so that's awesome. So we've already got that starting to build up now, ready to go for our next section. So here, okay, we've actually got this here now. So we're actually needing to come into our streets. We are actually going to so this is already up to the best point anyway. So what we are going to do is we're actually going to bring this over to here. We're then going to come into our buildings. We're actually then going to grab our a bus depot or coach depot, whichever one that you wish to use on terminology with it, which that's perfectly fine. But what we are trying to do is here, I might actually move this potentially just down like that there, bring in the depot in, and then here we can then start bringing in the train the bus stops in. So yeah, again we are going to follow around like so, and we are going to start bringing in all these stops coming in now, you see, because we're needing to make sure that we've got the best possible coverage. This is probably going to be our largest bus route, especially in this area, and that's perfectly fine. Now ideally you shouldn't be putting buses down near those sections there anyway, but that's okay. And then what we can then do then is just leave this here empty, right? Okay, just like this here, because this here covers this here anyway, and this here does, so we should be fine on the area to what we've actually got, because that's just one of those things for that. Now what we're then going to do is, now we're going to then come into a new line. Okay, we're going to select this one here. Okay, we're then going to come into here, collect this stop, this one here, this one here, here and here, and then we're then just going to very quickly add on the necessary stops. So let's add you onto there, you onto there, and then you onto there, you to there. And like I said, this here is just to make sure that we have got enough coverage for the entire area to allow for the city number 1 to grow, but also then to allow for the coverage to be enough on everything entirely. So we're going to pop onto here, pop up to here, come into here, come into here, one there, and one there. Okay, and that is practically 30 stops initially on that route. And this here is then going to be the this is going to be the Featherstone Intercity, and this is the Pats, and this is going to be by road. Okay, so road is R on this occasion. So here we're actually going to come back into here, we're going to come to here, and straight away we're actually going to be putting 10 straight onto that there, onto there. This is then going to be the Featherstone Pats transportation. Okay, so we've actually got a new vehicle there, so presumably that's actually for the road usage. Now we've got that done, we should why are you not allowing me to take you off from there? Okay, for some reason that's not allowing me to take that off there for some reason. Well, that's perfectly fine. So now we've got that there, and we're actually making quite a lot of money now. Okay, so we've actually come about 10 years now into actually in-game with this. We've actually got a Pats now, which is great. So we've got a Pats area for the train, so which is this one here. Okay, yes, we're not making a lot of money on it, but that's perfectly fine because all our other sections what we got is actually making us some money. And while we're actually still waiting to see if this here is actually working, right, keep in mind, right, we can actually take up to 40 passengers a time on this one here. So this is actually going to be growing over time, and this would take time with the Pats stuff, which is for the passengers, just to really start building up a little bit more. So on that reason, I'm not too massively concerned with that, because we are actually allowing that to just go straight up to there and quite easily. Then of course from here, when we're actually ready to do our next stage, we can actually just double check everything. So let's just double check our finances here. So at this moment of time, our finances is not really massively good on this train at this moment of time, but this will take time to actually sort itself out because we've got like 17, 18, 19, 20. So we are actually starting to build up a decent amount of section here. And of course we've actually got like a lot of money now, so we can easily actually pay off the loan. So that's what we are probably now just going to do very quickly. Let's get this loan paid off straight away, so then we don't have to worry about that there then with that, because we're just needing to make sure that we've got all money paid off as quickly as possible. And then what we can then do is to maybe, because this can actually take up to 40 passengers, we've actually got 6 there actually, which is actually quite astonishing. So that's like 52,000 there. Okay, so what we are going to then just do, just to make sure that we've got everything sorted, and this is why I placed those bus depots so close, and these bus sections here so close, because we're wanting to make sure that we've got enough passengers being brought in with that. And so that's why we initially try and work it through that way. So let's just see how much we get on this here, because we're wanting to really see how much money we can actually make on this, because if we don't make enough, then we may initially kind of struggle initially with it, and that is one thing what we don't really want to do, is actually struggle. So let's just see where this train is. All right, and it's coming in. It's coming in. So this here should now make around about like a approaching probably around about 70,000 or something daft like that. Let's have a look. Oh right, 255,000 for 20 odd passengers. So we are now making money on our train route. Not much money, but we are making money on our train route here. So that said and done, we are going to be leaving it there for this episode here. So we've actually expanded this round, and we've also got this expanded up here as well. We may need to put some new buses on that route there. This here is perfectly fine, but keep in mind we're not getting in all of our resources yet into these here. So this city here is going to grow anyway. So we do need to make sure that we've actually got that there sorted out as well. So in the next episode anyway, guys and girls, we are actually going to expand this up to here, start getting our resources brought up to here as quickly as possible. And then what we are going to then do is maybe just do like a little short run from here to here, and then from here over to here. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're not allowed, so I'd just like to make this quite clear on this one here as well, actually. With this being so close to here, initially what people would do is just place a middle section what will be highlighted on both sides here. We can't do that. We need to bring it in, then bring it back out into this section here. So that's what we are going to try and do there, so we can at least start bringing in free resources into this section here as well. This is going to be quite an easy fix one, this is. So that's what we're going to do there anyway. Let's just see what our amount here is at. So I think initially we're not actually maxed on this yet, have we? So we are maxing, but it's not overdoing too much or actually for too long, because we are actually knocking that down. So that's actually quite good, that is, for that. So it shows that we've just got enough trains on that route there. As for this one here, and let's just double check this here out. Have we got enough there? I think we may potentially need to. So I'm actually going to sell this one here, because that's just costing us money just sitting there, because we don't really need that as such there. So yeah, so what we're going to do is, everyone, okay, we're going to leave this episode to there for now. So on the next episode we are going to be whipping this round to here, sort this out, and then start getting this section here done as well, so we can actually start bringing in resources into here, bring resources up to here as well, and then hopefully we can then try and bring other resources coming down here to get this here sorted out as well. So we are going to slowly build up everything as needed. So till next time, everyone, yeah, again, my name is Wolf. Thank you so much for that, for your beautiful support, and we see you on another episode, everyone. Bye.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad